So in the process of our discussions, we started with the business partner, and later on we slowly moved to the data model changes in the SD sales, and after that we discussed on the output management. So the next topic is rebate processing, or it is in S4 it is called as a settlement management. Okay, or other way it is also called as a condition contract management. So whatever the name, settlement management or CCM, condition contract management, the process, you can just refer this, or you can correlate to the rebate processing in your ECC. Okay, so what is the new SAP is offering as part of the settlement management in S4HANA, we are going to see. So we will see the what is the settlement management, and how it is different from your traditional debit management, and we can just compare the old and new, and how the process will look like, and the flow, sales flow, how the settlement or business volume will be determined. So those are all the topics we are going to see. So as part of the rebate management, so first of all, what is a rebate in terms of your rebate settlement management? If I want to understand rebate management, settlement management, so first I need to understand what is a rebate. Okay, a rebate is nothing but it's a special kind of a discount which is paid retroactively for a customer. So that means we have a discount. Your discount is nothing but for each and every transactions we are giving a discount to that particular customer on that particular transaction. But a rebate is a special discount which is paid retroactively. So that means it's a not paid to the customer. A discount is just we are offering some amount, like we are deducting from this net price. But rebate is we are paying back to the customer on the volume of our transactions he made. Okay, discount is based on the customer sales volume, and it is a over a specified period of time. So that means it's not for the particular transaction only. So we are paying to the customer on the volume of a transactions he made, or volume of a sales on sales volume, and over a particular period. So it can be 3 months, or it can be quarterly, or it can be yearly. And settlement is done when a credit memo is issued. So that means we will do the accruals of this rebates. So whatever the rebates we have to pay to the customer, so we will we'll do accruals, so that accruals will be saved at some document, some transactions, and finally when we do the settlement for that particular customer, automatically the credit memo is generated. So credit memo tells about we have to pay some amount to the customer. So on that particular transactions, whatever the transactions we want to offer a rebate to the customer, on the transactions we will first of all determine the condition, and that condition will contain how much amount of discount he's getting. And once we start doing the settlement run, so all the conditions or all the transactions whatever we have to pay will determine into the settlement management. Okay, it will generate a credit memo. It's a transaction. So for this, what is the difference SAP is offering? How it is different from your traditional? So in the traditional, the same process. The process is like a rebate management, definition wise, terminology wise, it's a rebate management. And here we are going to call this as a settlement management. So that is the first thing. And we have a table called as a VBox. VBox is nothing but it is a table which stores all the relevant customers or all the relevant billing documents which are uh, which can be used for your settlement or rebate processing, rebate settlement basically. So VBox stores all the rebate relevant invoices when the customer run the transaction VBOF. So that means when we run a VBOF transaction for that particular customer, all the rebates which are applicable for this invoices will be pulled from the VBox table. Okay, so what is the main problem here? Why we are not using the traditional? So what is the main reason is, so basically our main concerns are the rebate index tables, which is VBox. Okay, if I activate a rebate processing in my company, so let's say or assume that my database is of 5 TB. So if I activate rebate processing, 1 terabyte data, it means almost 20% of our data will be occupied only with the VBox transactions. How is it possible? Is like, for example, I have a one rebate agreement for a customer, say called 1000. So today, one of the user, he went into the rebate transaction or into the VBox table or rebate agreement. Okay, it's a VB01 or VB02 or whatever the transaction is. And once you go into that particular transaction, there is a one entry created in the VBox. Even if we make changes in the rebate agreement, or if we didn't make changes, one entry will be seen in the VBox once you log in, even if it is without changes also. So next day, another user went into the same transactions to see something, to update, or to only just to display. So another entry will come. So like that, it is just a log tables. It will see how many times this transaction is opened or how many times this particular rebate agreement is called. So like this, it is for one customer without making any changes itself. It will create one entry. It will be time entries, or it will be change entries, change logs. Everything will be seen there. So it keep on updating the table VBox. So just assume if there are n number of customers for which a rebate agreement is activated. So then almost every day the table will be getting updated n number of times. Not only this, if a rebate agreement is active or rebate processing active is in your sales organization, for that, if I open any customer in the backend for which a rebate agreement is created, so I cannot open the master data, or I cannot open any transaction data for that customer. So that means if I have a rebate processing, I have created a rebate agreement for that customer. So if I'm the user who is looking into the rebate agreement, let's say for example some other user wants to make some changes, some create a sales order for that same transaction, so it will show as its a customer is locked. So that means the rebate agreement has a lock functionalities. It will normally lock all the transactions open for this particular, or to be created for this particular customer when the rebate agreement is kept open. So we unless and until we come out of the rebate agreement, we cannot make any further transactions using this. And not only the transactions, even the master data also will be locked. So normally when we are creating any sales order, it doesn't matter whether the customer is opened, or it doesn't matter whether any delivery is open for that particular customer. But only the case with the rebate agreement, where the rebate agreement is open, so I cannot create any transaction, or I cannot open any master data for that particular customer if a rebate created for the customer is open. So that is, these two are the main reasons why they come up with a solution, new business process, and that too the process is made so simple. Okay, little bit initially you will think it's more complex, but for a couple of times if you just go through this, the process is very simple. So what are the solutions for these two challenges we have? Solution is, the solution to this issues is settlement management, where the table VBox is completely eliminated. So we are not going to update a VBox table. Okay, and it completely reduces the data footprints. VBox is one of the table which contains a data updates, which multiple duplicate data redundancies are there. Duplicate entries are getting updated for each and every time when I log in into the rebate agreement. So that's the reason my VBox table is not updating currently using a settlement management. So can you make a difference now? So what is the VBox? So VBox is a table what we are using currently when I activate my settlement management, and it contains n number of data footprints or data redundancies, or it's giving a performance issues because of the memory it is holding. And there are locked n number of locks updated for the customer if the rebate agreement created or open for the customer is kept open, and I want to do some subsequent transactions using that particular customer. So I cannot change any sales order created for the customer. I cannot change any deliveries, or I cannot do anything. Even I cannot post anything using that transaction for that customer, because it shows its customer is already locked. So because of these two transactions, or to these two reasons, so rebate settlement management has come into the scope. Okay, so what is new here we have? So in my standard rebate processing, when I activate a rebate processing, So first of all, I need to create a rebate agreement for the customer. Okay, and after I do a rebate agreement, I will create a sales order, I will create a delivery, and I will do a billing. So we have certain conditions like BO01, BO02, it's a customer rebate or sales order rebate or delivery rebate in your ECC. So based on the your flow, you can activate any of the rebate. Either it can be a customer rebate or material rebate, whatever the rebate you want, we can activate. Or you can activate multiple rebates also based on the customer or based on the agreement. I cannot see what is the rebate amount I need to settle to the customer at a sales order level or at a delivery level. I can see or I can view only at a billing document level. So that is one more disadvantage. It's only using the routines we have activated. So that means until and unless I have seen the rebate agreement, I cannot know what is the amount I need to settle until unless I create a billing document. Okay. In the billing document level, we will see, and after the billing document, I will run the rebate transactions, and I will know what accruals will be posted to that particular customer. So then I will do a settlement. But here in this condition contract management, we will create a condition contract, and this condition contract, it can be created as a one harmonized process. So for that customer, so here the main focus here is I can create a customer, and the customer also can be acted also can also act as a supplier. So that means I have a customer and vendor as the same. So that means if the particular customer I'm selling as a goods, so it will be active, he will be called as a customer. But for the same business partner, I'm receiving some raw materials, so then he is called as a supplier. In this case, in such cases, if I want to create a rebate in my existing ECC, I need to have two different setups, one for the sales process and one for the purchasing process. So that means I need to first of all have a customer created, vendor created, and I need to activate a settlement separately for these two, and in the sense rebate for these two, and I need to create a rebate agreement separately. So rebate settlement or rebate management is not only for limited to customers, we can also get it for a vendor. Okay, so in such case, what happens is you're creating your data flow, the master data setup or transaction data setup is keep on increasing, and we need to create multiple times. So if I take the same scenario into the S4HANA system, so I can have a single business partner which represents both the customer and vendor or supplier, and I can create only one single condition contract management which is applicable for the customer and vendor. Okay, so that means only using one condition contract management, I can create both transactions and SD transactions. And different organizational data. So I can use this for multiple organizations, not specific to one sales organizations or one purchase organization. If I have a condition contract, unless and until if the rebate settlement is different for each sales organization, I can use the same. Say for example, I have a Germany as my sales organization. In that Germany, my rebate is 5%. And the same European countries like France, Sweden, Denmark, or Belgium, I'm giving only 5% for the entire Europe. So then it is not required for you to create a multiple condition contracts. You can create a single condition contract and extend this to the multiple sales organizations. But this is also not possible in your ECC. In ECC, if I want to create a rebate agreement, I need to specifically create for company code for sales organization. I cannot have an option to extend this to different sales organizations. So that is also another disadvantage. Okay, so here what we are creating is in the CCM process, maybe if I say it's a CCM or settlement management, all the same. Either it's called as a condition contract management or settlement management. So in the settlement, first of all, we will be creating a condition contract type. Okay, and this condition contract type will contain the customer data, supplier data, organization data, purchase organization data, business volume, okay, settlements and settlements and settlement and settle conditions. So these are all the data we need to fill. It's at everything is at a one place. So condition contract management will create in a one transaction, where we'll maintain the customer or a business partner or supplier or organization data or purchase organization data, and settlement when I want to settle, whether it's a partial settlement or full settlement. So difference is, partial settlement is, say if the condition contract is for 3 months or the rebates agreement is for 3 months, within 3 months the customer saying, okay, I need a partial settlement, so every 1 month we can settle the amount whatever accrued for that particular period. The customer says, okay, I don't need a partial settlement, you can settle everything at a final settlement. So that is also possible. Okay, so condition contract, it's a one single transaction which can hold, which can do any number of things. And after that we create sales orders, and we create your normal SD transactions or transactions. So once a condition contract is created, so then we can release this. So that means it will make sure that this condition, this particular condition contract will be enabled to determine how much is the amount I need to pay to the customer or the vendor. So what is my settlement transaction? So, and after that we can process our sales orders, deliveries and billings, or purchase orders, your incoming deliveries or incoming invoices. Once I activated the particular customer and for that particular transaction in your condition contract management, whatever the sales transactions you are doing for this particular customer will be automatically enabled with the settlement. So that means I have 1,000 as my customer, so I have created a condition CCM, condition contract management, and when I create a sales order for this customer, which is already existing a CCM, condition contract, automatically in your sales orders you will be finding the condition type as a rebate. It shows what amount or what percentage you need to pay as a settlement for that particular transaction. So that is a advantage what we have in your CCM process. So in the CCM, so I will just go to this Excel sheet. So this is called as a CCM, condition contract management, or this is also called as a settlement management. Okay, so this is a replacement of your rebate processing. We have a rebates, so this is a replacement of your rebate processing. So here, first of all, from the scenario perspective, we are going to create a condition contract. Okay, and this condition contract will contain the customer, who is the customer, or who is the supplier. Okay, and what are the organizational details. So either it can be a sales organization or purchase organization, and we can maintain the supplier as a settlement details or settlement data, such as whether it's a partial settlement or full settlement, and what is the business volume. So that means I'm creating a condition contract, so I can say, okay, this is the customer or a business partner, so whatever it is, so either it can be a supplier or it is a it's a customer, so this is my business partner, and I want to create it for the sales organization, or say for example I'm doing it for a sales organization. So sales area. Okay, and after this I will be giving a settlement, whether it's a full settlement, full or partial. Okay, so then what is a business volume means whether we are creating it for a material specific, or it is a customer specific, or it is a combination. So all these details we can enter. Okay, so in the condition contract itself I will be having the partner details, I will be having a sales area details, and whether it's a full settlement is required or partial settlement is required, and its business volume talks about whether it's a fixed amount or based on the material or based on the customer. So these are all we have maintained. So now we will also say whether it is a rebate we are giving it for a customer, or the material we have specified here. Now we will say what is the percentage of amount I have to give. So that means how do you differentiate, how do you define the percentage? It is coming from the condition type. Okay, so it can be a BA00, or it can be BA01, or it can be BA02. These are all what we have in your ECC. So here the concept is same, but here they changed the naming convention to REBA, REB1, REB2, like that, RBST. Okay, so but these are all the details which we need to enter. Okay, now I will just go to the system and I will show you.
Hello.
Yeah, Scully.
Sir, what is the difference between T6B1 and VBox tables? Can we see the all rebate related data, table data we can see in VBox?
Yeah, VBox is it contains everything. It's not only specific customer. So when I activate a rebate agreement for that any
Mm-hmm.
customer or any supplier, I can go and see it in the VBox, all rebate transactions.
Okay. And also, what is the difference between HANA as well as in ECC, which is related to rebate changes for document level or access sequence level?
Pricing level, we are only just activating a few conditions like Vivo 01 or Vivo 00, BA02. These conditions are not no more activated. Okay, and the pricing procedure level, we are having a few condition types. I will just show you. After this we will be maintaining everything into the in that pricing procedure, and that will be enabled for your sales organization or your purchasing schemas. So from the pricing perspective, it is I can say it's a changes are very limited, but from the process point of view, we have some changes. It's not like I cannot say it's a complete change, but instead of creating a rebate agreement, we are creating as a condition contract.
Okay.
Just
So
open.
I'm talking about control factors in document level in Vivo
Yeah,
V8.
document level in the Vivo V8 we don't have any changes.
Okay. What about access sequence like Vivo 01, Vivo 02, and Vivo 03, 04,
Yeah,
like that?
pricing
No?
level, pricing level
Uh,
we definitely we have a changes, but document level we don't have anything. I will just show you. See, first of all, I need to create a condition contract. It is not like a standard condition. We have a specific condition contract management, WCO, WC. This is end user transaction. I'm just showing you. Okay, so this is how it looks like. My condition contract will look like this. I have a condition contract, and whether it's a customer or supplier, it will determine from which state to which state. This is a period what we have. Okay, so let me just create one. Okay, so just see the configuration. When I try to create a condition contract, okay, one second, one second. Yeah, hi. Uh, See, when I'm trying to create a condition contract, so first configuration is I need to choose what is my condition contract type. So we have a list of condition contract which will vary. Like it is it's a similar to your sales order type, or it is a PO type. Okay, so we have to see what is a condition contract type. So from this, I can just note if I want to create a condition contract. So let's say this is my condition contract management. In this, first of all, I need to see my condition contracts. Okay, so this is a condition contract type. What does it controls? Okay, how it is controlling this process. So that is the first part we need to see. Okay, so let's say, for example, I will take one, okay, from customer billing based. So when I enter this, system will automatically prompt some fields. So maybe some fields are hidden out, or some fields are enabled, some fields are grayed out. So that everything is controlled on the condition contract type, which we are going to see. So now just see, previously it was showing as a supplier, but now it changed it to the customer since we activated the customer. So this is also controlled from the condition contract type. And this from and to period is nothing but the range or validity of this condition contract. Okay, so you can see here there are certain fields. So first of all, we have a header, we have a eligible partners, and we have a condition tables. So I can say my condition contract will have header details, partner details, and condition tables. So this next step is I have some header details. All right, okay, I can just put this header details, and I have eligible partners. Okay, and I have some condition types. So these are all my header details. Header of the condition contract, and what are all the partners I can use, or who are all the partners enabled for this, and these are all conditions. So a header is nothing but it talks about the basic data, and it talks about the sales organization data, and it talks about the business volume, and also the settlement details. Partner details will talk about who are all the eligible partners. So for this, but let's say, for example, I have a n number of customers, n number of business partners. So maybe all the business partners are not eligible for the rebates. So in this, I can maintain what are all the customers eligible under a specific sales organization, or specific purchase organization. Okay, and what are all the conditions. So this is nothing but header will talk about the settlement date, the basic data of the customer or basic data of the business partner, the sales organization or purchase organization, and what is my business volume. Okay, and partner, who are all the partners eligible for this. So at a single business partner partner level also we can create, or we can combine one condition contract for all the business partners. So let's say I have created a condition contract of 1001. Okay, in this I have activated all the business partners, so who are relevant. So when I create any transactions, say for example in this I have 1 2, these are all my business partners. Okay, and this conditions, everything is filled. Now when I create a sales order, okay, so assume that there are only 5 customers which are enabled for the condition contract. So that means When I create a sales order for these customers, automatically the sales order will contain the rebate, the settlement data. Or yeah, for your understanding, I will put as a CCM, condition contract data. See, for example, if I create the sales order for any of this, 1 or 2, okay, for same sales order I have created for 6, then there will be no CCM. Okay, just imagine this. So are you clear till this part? So I have created a sales order, and the sales order CCM data is enabled for this particular customers. And when I create a sales transactions for these customers, the CCM will determine, means condition contract will determine the sales order level. If I create a sales order for some customer which is not enabled in this, so then there is no CCM data. Are you clear till this part? So we will come to this configuration later, but if the basic process, if you are understanding, so then it is easy to follow the configuration. There is nothing in the configuration, but you should understand the flow. Are you clear in the flow now?
Yes, Santosh.
Kalyan, Suresh, maybe Kamesh or Murthy. So if you are clear, Rama, I think
Yes.
Rama,
Yeah.
yeah,
No,
Rama.
I'm here.
Yeah, so first of all, we need to understand the CCM so that we will understand what is the CCM, but how the CCM data will be determined into my sales order. So that is, in the CCM, we have a configuration or we have a process where it contains some header data, partner data, and condition data. In the partner data, I will maintain what are all the customers which are eligible for my settlement or CCM. So those customers I will maintain in the CCM. Later on, when I create a sales transaction for that particular customers, eligible partners, automatically the sales order will show whether it's relevant for settlement or not relevant for settlement. Okay, so we have not yet gone to the level of understanding what is a CCM. We are first of all understanding how we can identify whether this particular customer is relevant for CCM or not. Okay, so this is the first understanding. So then later on we will come to this condition contract. So if you are clear on this, then I can go to the condition contract. Right, so this is a place where I'm creating. So what is the transaction? The transaction is WCO. It's a transaction, end user transaction to create a condition contract. So in this condition contract, so first of all, I understand, okay, condition contract will control whether it's relevant for customers or relevant for suppliers or relevant for some header details, basic data details. So the condition contract type is a controlling factor. So we will see what is there in the condition contract type. Okay, later on, I have options to limit this condition contract for certain period. Okay, whether it is for 1 month or 2 months or 1 year, 2 years, whatever the period we want. So I will say it is possible, or it is from 16th. I'll put till 30th. So now this condition contract which I'm creating, it contains some data uh, of the range is period. So now I will go to the header area. In this header area, I can see the basic data, sales organization data, purchasing data, my administration data is nothing but who has created, and the text, if I want any text to be determined, and status of this. And PPF is not relevant for us, at least it's a GTM model. So but the same concept is available in the GTM also, so that's why it is GTM and TPM models. And this is my business volume data, okay, and this is my settlement data. So there are some data in my CCM at header level which I need to control or I need to activate. So that we will go to the business basic data first. So contract type, this is nothing but the contract what we selected or whatever we chose initially. This is your external identifier. So you are already giving something in your legacy system or your ECC, so that can be given here. Okay, it's only external identifier or reference from your previous system to this system. Okay, these are all references are text fields, assignment and all. Currency is in which currency you want to create this condition. Normally, if you can enter the currency here, so then it will be applicable for entire transaction. But if you didn't enter here also, it will go and look into the business partner or at a sales order level. So that means this is only just it is not having a much significance. Okay, so exchange rate also will play if you are having a multiple currencies. Like for example, I have created this for Germany in euros, but a customer is from let's say Switzerland, so Swiss franc. So what is the exchange rate? Either it's 1.16 or some rate based on the date which we maintain in the ticker table. Okay, so next is contract category. So we have not maintained any contract category, so that means it's also coming from my configuration. So we will see this, so it will change based on this. Okay, and payment terms, it's coming from it will come from the customer, and payment method, everything will come from the customer. So here in this basic data we can talk more on what is a condition contract, okay, what it is controlling, and currencies. So later on I go to the sales organization. So here I can maintain a sales organization data. So if I maintain a sales organization data, so that is it's for my one sales organization, it will be a header level, so it will be applicable only for this particular transaction, only for this particular sales order. If I didn't maintain, so then you will have another option in the eligible partners. You can just say this is applicable for all the sales organizations. So the same holds good for the purchase organization. So that means I can maintain it for the same business partner who is acting as a supplier and vendor. So then that I have a sales organization data and purchase organization data. So that means one contract, condition contract, can be created for both my and SD process. So okay, this is fine. So then what is there in the admin data? It's nothing but who has created, when it was created. And I will go to the header text. So this some text you can maintain and you can populate some header text. And we have some settlement data. So what is the settlement data? Not settlement, it's a status data. So status is the condition contract we have created, but when it should be applicable. So today I created a condition contract, but I want this to be applicable from the next month onwards. So I kept my master data ready, but it is not it is not to be created from today month, from this June month. Maybe I want it from the July month onwards, but before in hand I kept all my data ready. So how do you say, or how do you tell the system that should be applicable only from the July month? So here we have a release strategies or release. Okay, and also some certain user status also is related to this. So we have a system status and we have a user status. Okay, so system status talks about whether it's a contract is created or it is released or it is completed or it is under process, whatever it is. And user status is a specific control what user is putting. It is not something system is controlling, it is a additional subsequent or complementary, I can say. Okay, uh, it's a complementary to your system status. And this is also again configuration we will see. And post processing you can ignore, this is not for us. And business volume, so this is a place where the system will identify on what basis I'm creating the condition contract, whether it's a sales basis or purchasing basis or customer basis or what basis. Okay, so if I say sales organization basis, so I can enter what are all my sales organization which can be given here. Okay, but if not the sales organization, it can be a customer, so I can enter who are all the customers. Okay, if not the customer, but I can enter my materials, I can enter vendors, I can enter suppliers. So whatever the combination you want to give, you can give here. So here, why we can see only a few details or few fields. So that means this is also related to some configuration that we will see. So then we will maintain the settlement data. So what is my material to which I need to settle, and whether it's account receivables or account payables, and the calendar also will be there, settlement calendar, and we can say whether it's a partial settlement or full settlement. So header is mainly talking about, it's a condition contract type and what is my settlement, how I do a settlement, and what is my material. If I didn't do a material also, it's okay. What is my business volume? Okay, whether it's a sales organization specific or customer specific or material specific, that fields we need to see, and some status will be controlled. So are you clear on the header details, what details we are entering? So in the header, I can show you what are all the configurations, but there are some configurations also available in the header. So header is my whole CCM or my whole condition contract is comprising of a three again subfields or subtabs. One is my header, one is my partners, and another one is conditions. In the header, we have some certain fields again from the configuration point of view, and some determined from the customer or some determined from the supplier, that we will see. And next is I will go to the partners. So I have entered all my business volume or settlement, how I set this particular document has to be settled. All this data I have maintained at header level. So then I will go to the condition partners or eligible partners.
Santosh,
Yeah, Ram.
we have this header, whatever we entered the details, it's actually common for all the partners, whatever we are going to enter in the eligible partners, right? The same thing goes with the timeline also. You just mentioned that in the initial introduction, if the partner, if that is for 1 year and he wants that partial rebates or something, it's possible. So then that means all the partners, whoever included in this contract, will impact it, right?
Yeah. So this is you're talking about this header range, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So that means this particular contract is within the range of let's say assume 3 months. Okay,
Yeah, right.
in this 3 months I have maintained all my eligible partners. So that
Yeah.
means this contract is active for 3 months. After the 3 months, after this expiry date, even if the partners are eligible here, it will not determine at a sales order level.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so this is the validity of the contract. So normally when you're talking about a contract, when you create in VA41, so there
Mm.
is some contract from date and end date. So that
Yes.
means in that
Yeah.
start date and end date, if the contract is valid, so then only it will have a subsequent impact. If the
Yes.
contract start date and end date is not in a valid date or it's not valid, so the subsequent document will not have any impact with this contract.
Yeah.
The same holds good here also. So we are talking about the condition contract. So how many months I need to give a settlement? Okay, or
How
how many
many
months
months?
I need to calculate the accruals?
Okay, this is something that's a validity period only, not the thing like when I have to settle.
This is only validity period. The settlement we maintain the settlement here.
Okay.
Okay, in the settlement calendar, I will maintain on which date I need to settle, whether it's a partial settlement or full settlement. But
Yeah, that's what
this
I'm
one,
asking. This is if one of the partners, five partners, if we enter and one of the partner wants a different schedule, then it will impact all the others also. No, that's what we cannot.
okay. You're saying that let's say if we have a 5 different customers, business partners.
Yeah,
So one customer is asking for a partial settlement. So you
yeah.
can just maintain this uh, calendar here.
Mm-hmm.
Say for example, it's for Europe. Okay, and partial settlement we can maintain for 01. And in this we can maintain whether I want to do a partial settlement or full settlement. I can
Okay.
maintain this three ranges. Okay, so you not have any problem even if I maintain partial settlement and finally you are doing a one settlement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but if you maintain final settlement, you cannot do a partial settlement.
Oh, okay.
So you understood, right? So
Yeah.
I
So
say, okay, I want only a final settlement. Yeah,
Santosh, I mean, sorry, yeah, I think her question is more towards as this header being having the validity date, is it going to impact everyone mentioned as a customer there? The number
yeah.
of customers or vendors that we are choosing. Okay.
Yeah, it will impact. So this is nothing but this
Mm,
contract is valid only for this within this period. So that means I want to calculate the actuals only within this range.
okay.
Okay, it will have impact on all the eligible partners who are there.
Okay.
Yeah, we got that one. That's actually the validity period. Within that validity period, how to settle. That
Yeah, this is
settlement also
yeah.
is
Again, we will be maintaining
we
here.
cannot create a individual partner wise rules. It's that rule is common for everyone.
Yeah,
Similarly, the
common for everyone,
sharing.
but if you maintain here as a partial settlement, so that's
Yeah.
this field you maintain. So that means it will eligible for partial settlement also. So it is up to you or up to the user whether you want to create a partial settlement or final settlement. But if I maintain the partial settlement, I can create a partial settlements for all the business partners or all the eligible partners who are entered here. Say for
You have to
example,
manually, right? That's
yeah, manually, or you can set up a job also.
because if I want separate final settlement or something for one of the customer, then that's an
Yeah, so if you want within the 5 customers, or say for example, I have customers. I have entered one,
1 to 5.
two,
Yeah.
yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So these are all the customers I have maintained in the eligible partners. So this
Yes.
partner, I want a partial settlement.
Yeah.
Okay, but for all this, I have a full settlement.
Yes.
So what you can do is you can activate a partial settlement for this condition contract level, and you can
Okay.
activate a full settlement. So for when the user is trying to do a settlement, he can do for the customer one using the condition contract. He can create a partial settlement.
Okay.
Okay, for these customers also you can create a partial settlements. But if they says I want only a full settlement, you can enter full settlement. Okay, you don't need to create a partial settlements. So within that range, so here your condition contract is saying from
Yeah.
1st of June till 30th of June. So within this range, we can maintain partial settlements over every quarter, every 5 days or 10 days. Within that, you can whatever all the accruals you have seen, you can create a partial settlement for this customer using this condition contract. And for remaining all on 30th, you can create a final settlement.
Okay.
Okay.
So for that, will that be a new condition contract you are going to create
No,
for
no,
the full
same condition
settlement?
contract.
Same
In the
condition
same
contract will
you are
include
activating
both.
the partial and full.
Okay.
Okay, so you will be activating whether it's a partial or full. You will just maintain whether it's a partial settlement or full final settlement or some other settlement. So these are all different settlement
Mhm.
types. Okay.
Yeah, maybe you can show an example
Yeah.
still. Yeah.
I think in that validity period, how you are going to change, I mean, choose that. It's up to your disposal whether it is going to be a partial one or a full settlement based on the date and the correct.
Yes. So in this, you have a calendar on which calendar you want. Okay, whether you want a partial settlement or full settlement. After this, you can also come and say whether my final settlement on which date I want a final settlement, or on which date I want a partial settlement. So based on this, once you run the report for settlement, automatically system will go and look into this condition contract, and on that particular date, whether partial settlement is valid or not, it will create. Okay, so this I will show you in detail. But first of all, we are into the settlement management, condition contract management. Okay, so we have to see this contract type, and we have to see the status fields. Okay, how the status fields are coming, and we have to see how my business data is coming, and then we will go with the settlement contract calendar. So here we also have a settlement type. So the settlement calendar will, it's an integral process. Within the CCM, we have a condition contract maintenance and settlement maintenance. So we have to see the settlement document type also. So like how we have a condition contract type. So this also I will show you the configuration. So
This
later
settlement
on,
date should be always in between that header date, right?
correct. So this is another functionality. So it cannot be beyond the your
Correct.
valid range. Okay, so then the eligible partners. So here I can say who are all my eligible partners. So you can enter all the eligible partners. So it will look into the business partners. So you can find out all the eligible partners. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What are all the partners you want? Okay. So next is condition table. So condition table is we have different entries, but based on the number or material or based on the number. So this number is nothing but this condition contract number. Okay, so always when you create a condition contract or the condition table, so number field is mandatory. Without the number field, system will not able to identify the condition contract in your sales order. It will not determine the condition contract. So number is always a mandatory field here. So you can choose n number of access sequences, but number should be a mandatory. Without number, it will not eligible for determining the condition contract. So this is a crux here. Always remember, so number is mandatory. Okay, now what I will do is I will go to my condition contract configuration. SPRO. It's in the logistics general. Settlement management. Okay. So in this we have a more features, but what are all the relevant for our CCM? I will just talk. We have a condition contract management. Okay, and we have a basic settings and settlement process. So these are all only relevant. Your clearing workbench, these are all not relevant. Portal, this is for TPM. Okay, intrastat, this is also for a different process. So I will just tell you these are all the fields or the nodes which are relevant for us. So first is my condition contract management. So condition contract maintenance. Okay, I have a condition contract. This is my condition contract types. I will go inside this. Okay, I will just choose one of this is. So let's say, for example, we have SBB1. Okay, so this is the value contract type what we have chosen while we are creating a condition contract. So here I can the 4-digit character or 4-character value, and this is a description of this. So that means it talks about sales bonus based on my billing documents. Okay, so we can create a condition contract specific to a module like it's MM flow or SD flow. If not, we can create it for settlement for both. Okay, this is a number range. So that means when I create a condition contract, when I save it, in WCOCO, you can see here number. So this is nothing but a number range. I'll just try to save it. You will see what happens. Okay, now business volume is maintained. So we have some mandatory fields. We'll see what are all. Enter a customer. Okay, so this is a number we got created. So this is a document and this is my number. So how this number is coming? This number is coming from condition contract type. In this we have assigned the number ranges. And in this I say type of a contract partner. Here you can say customer or supplier or no contact partner. So contact partner is nothing but whether you're creating it for a customer or supplier, or if you say no contact partner, so you can create it for both supplier or a customer. Okay, so here you can say it's a customer based or supplier based, no eligible partners, or it's a plant based or reference condition contract. So we will use customer or supplier. Plant is using TPN model. No eligible partner is if this no eligible partner is maintained, so that means this condition contract can be created without any specific eligible partners. So but normally we won't do this. We will either use a customer or supplier. Okay, if there's no eligible partner is created, it's a generic, it's not specific to any business partner. Okay, plant is for TPM model, and reference condition type you can just say when I create a condition contract I can use a template. So we will see it in detail when I go inside this one. And it's a rebate process, or it's what is a contract type. So this is something which we can see here in this basic data also. In the basic data I can see. Okay, it's a rebate, or this is again a configuration. So we will see what that configuration we are creating somewhere and we are assigning it here. Okay, so the next is condition maintenance. So I can maintain this for sales conditions, or I can maintain it for purchase conditions. So what will be there in this group? In this group we will maintain what are all the rebate conditions which are relevant. So let's say we have a 10 conditions, 10 rebate conditions. Whether all the 10 conditions are eligible for this contract or only 5 are eligible, so that we will maintain in this group. So just see, it's a hide condition area. I'm just hiding this. I will save it. So what will happen? So we can see here, I have a condition is header, and I have eligible partners, and I have a condition area. So I will try to create a new condition. So we will see what will happen. I need to go to WCO. Now you can see I have a business header and eligible partners. The condition area is disabled. Why? Because I have deactivated it from the condition contract type. Okay, do you see now the effect? And after this I have a no overlap of a condition validity. So if I check this box, so what will happen is within this range, so I have two conditions. One is my customer rebate and another one is sales rebate. Customer rebate and sales rebate, though it will look for the validity of your header. So but within this range, the customer rebate is falling from, say for example, from 1st of June till 16th. And after that I want a sales rebate which is falling from 17th till 30th. So if I choose this, what will happen is, if any of these two are having a overlap, like first one is having from 1st to 16th, and second one is from 15th to 30th, so you'll get a pop-up saying this, it will not be allowed. So you need to clearly maintain from which state to which state within the header range. Okay, so this is the overlap details. If you don't maintain this in this details, it will not show you, it will just give you a warning message, but it will have impact at the time of your transactions. Okay, so here the eligible sales transactions or eligible sales rebates or purchase rebates will be assigned here. So these two are my conditions which are enabled or which are valid for this condition contract type. Next is text determination, how your text will be determined. Okay, so this is a text determination at header level and text determination at eligible partner level, so that you can see. And the field statuses. So this field status group will say in this condition contract, when I'm creating a condition contract, if I want some fields to be set as a mandatory, or if I want some fields as to be optional, some fields to be graded out. So where do I control? I control that in this condition contract as a field status group. Okay, so the check group is also within this field status. The check group will be there, which is controlling. Okay, and the status profile. So we are talking about a status profile. Normally in your standard SAP, so whatever the module you take, either it's S4HANA CCM or it's a sales orders or deliveries or whatever module we take, so we have two kinds of statuses. One is system status and another one is a status driven by the customer. So what does it mean? System status is the status of a particular transaction will change automatically based on the flow. So what does it mean? I have a sales order created and I'm waiting for a billing document to be created, or I'm waiting for a subsequent document which is a delivery. So when I create a sales order, so the sales order will be shown as a open. Okay, so maybe I can go to some transactions. Okay, so this is the status, is nothing but your system status being processed. Or let's say for example, after this I've created a delivery. Okay, or after this I created a billing document. Once the billing document is created, the status will be completed, right? So you normally see this, whether the status of this header is completed or blocked, or it's a create block or whatever. That this is controlled by the system status and it is controlled by the flow. You're not manually doing, or there is no manual intervention in this. But I do have some transactions, so in which I want to see my supplementary statuses. Say for example, I have a being processed and I have a completed. So from being processed to the completed, I don't have any system status. Either I can say the sales order is being processed, but there is no billing document, but billing document is created. But before the billing document, I want to show, okay, I'm waiting for a customer approval to create a billing, or I'm waiting for uh, a shipment process, or I'm waiting for some customs authorities. Okay, so I'm waiting for some other mandatory or legal process. So those are all not controlled by the system. So these are all your process which has to be controlled by the users. So for this we will create a user status. So system status is something which is controlling the flow or which is controlled by the flow, and user status is something which user can control his flow. Do you understand the difference? System status is controlled based on the transactions which we create. Okay, and user process or user status will control how to process the flow or how to create the subsequent flow. Is it clear? It's a supplementary to your system status. So if I go to this document, okay, so it is shown as a new. Now what I will do, I will just come here. I will release it. Just see, previously it was showing as a new, right? Do you observe this? Okay, I will go to it is showing as new. Okay, but now I'm trying to release it. Okay, it is released. So this, did you change anything? You just done the transaction flow and you try to release this, automatically status was changed to released. But user status is I have a CC1 material, it's a material based, or it's a customer and material based, or it's a partially delivered. So this kind of a status I can create. Okay, I can set the status. How do I set? It will be enabled here in the CCM flows, and based on the transaction you can come and process the flows. Okay, so these are all my transaction based controls. You can say, so for example, at this material level I cannot create the sales orders, so that also can be controlled in the CCM, in the status. I will show you. Okay, so this is my status profile. I will come out. So we have a conditions, CCM, status profile. So let's say this is my condition contract. I will go inside, and inside of this I say I can create a maintenance. So I say change of a calendar is forbidden. Okay, so when my status is this, I cannot change the calendar. So that means I cannot change, or change of a condition is forbidden. So no influence. I'm just saving this. So let's say, for example, I have created my transaction here, flow. So this is a status has changed. Okay, so current user status was set as CCM. Now what I will do is, we have seen this settlement date cannot be changed. You can see it's a grayed out. So why it is grayed out? This is because of status. It's a forbidden. So this user status can control my flow. Okay, I can control, see, certain things I can release, or certain things I can control. I can lock, or I can say forward doing the transactions. So this is how this user status will control the flow. System status will control based on the flow. System status will be updated, but user status will control the flow. So it's a supplementary to your system status. Do you see, do you notice the difference? Maybe persons who are working on plant maintenance, or project systems, or customer service, or EAM modules, so for them it is very easy to understand. Anybody is there from these modules as your secondary skills or some primary skills? The plant maintenance, customer service, ETM tools. So those guys, the system status is already there for them. Even we also there for SG also, or also it is there, but we will not have a user status. We will not use this much. So we will be only driven by the system status.
Yeah, in the project systems also not this much, no? Yeah, it is there, to release the project and user status and all project status. Not at,
Yeah,
at
it is a
this
full fledged
deeper.
which is there in the project systems, but we will not uh, use it to the much extent. So
Yeah,
the full functionality is there. So you
yeah.
can see here system status. What are all the modules this is available?
Mm.
You can just come here,
Mm.
go to the object types. So these are all the modules where this status user status is used.
Yeah. We have to enable whatever required, right?
Yeah. So
Mm.
this see for example, I have CM1 underscore 001. So this I have activated for change it. See,
Okay.
okay, and also for my conditions.
Mhm.
Condition contract. If this is not active, it will not be shown. So let's say, for example, I will change this. Now you are seeing CCM underscore 1.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we have two. Right now, what I will do, I will come back. You can see here, this is not active. Okay, so that means I need to change this. It's completely gone because I have removed the condition contract configuration from there.
Oh,
So
okay.
that particular object type is mandatory to see this. If that is not active, you cannot see this.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay, so this is a condition contract type. So you can hide some fields or you can hide some mandatory optional fields you can set. So these are all the purchase organization group is optional. You can set like this. It's only the controls, but it will not have any impact on the flow. So these are all the impacts like settlement status profile, your condition contract type, whether it's eligible for partners or not. So that you will do it here. Okay. So now what we have seen is we have seen the condition contract. We have seen how the condition contract type to be created and how it is enabled for the business partners, either it's a customer or supplier or it's a plan based. So we have seen, and we have seen how to hide or how to update some fields. Okay, and we have seen the status. So we will see other fields also, the condition contract within the condition contract. Oh, the eligible partners are also we have seen, but the configuration we have not seen. So I will just show you slowly how to activate or how these fields will be enabled or what is the flow or how these fields will control your transactions. Okay, so next is we have a condition contract. Okay, this I have to activate back. Condition area. So this condition area, we need to see how my condition area is impacting or how the pricing will be determined. The condition area is nothing but your condition pricing. Okay, on what are all my condition types should come in this condition contract management. So that we need to create or that we need to see the configuration. We have not seen till that level. Just we are at a condition contract level only. We have seen some basic understanding, and after that we have gone to the CCM contract type creation and status profile. So we have a lot many things. So can we continue or we can go with tomorrow?
We'll take it up tomorrow.
Yeah,
Yep, we'll catch up tomorrow.
yeah, sure.
We'll not have a class tomorrow, right? Santosh, are we? Do we
No,
have?
basically last week we took so many leaves, right? So let us keep this week. We
Oh,
can deal next
okay,
week.
fine.
Yeah. Okay, then thank you. We can meet tomorrow the same time. So other guys are also, I think 3 or 4 guys missing. So I'll just recap what we discussed and we'll continue.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
thanks,
Bye.
Steve.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.